Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Brindlewood Bay. We are starting our sixth mystery, the Great Brindlewood Bay Bake-Off. GBBBO. I have to actually physically count the B's in that one. This is technically episode 12 of our Brindlewood Bay series, and we have 3 cast members tonight. We'll kind of start with Justin, who we've seen more recently, and then I'll let Caitlin and Scott in that order introduce their characters to you. So yeah, Justin, you want to say hi and tell us about who you're playing?
Hi, I'm Justin. I am playing Babs, a somewhat no nonsense um, old woman who's just a retired banker. She loves her bumper stickers and has a little bit of everything that used to be in a tin, but now everything lies in a treasure chest of all kinds of goodies, including a bunch of leashes and candles that could also be used for some baking events.
That's
Nice.
amazing. Yeah, Caitlin.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Martinkus, she, her, and tonight I am playing Ernestine, aka Nessie. She is a retired architect. Her and her wife owned a private firm and they did the sort of structural and interior design for fancy, like Michelin-starred restaurants. So she fancies herself a little bit, cultured, sometimes a little bit above it all, but also not afraid to speak her mind. She also loves cats.
I love how that's the detail that could get y'all in the most trouble is having a cat accomplice as you're speaking your mind. Um, just since it's been a minute since we've had Nessie joining us, don't forget that Nessie has a cat that can get into shenanigans along with the Mavens. And yeah, Scott, do you want to say hi and reintroduce your character?
Hi, I'm Scott Hannenberg, he, him, and I'm playing Meg. Meg is an ex doctor, had a local private practice, likes to quilt, likes to volunteer at the local school teaching cursive writing. Um, it's my first time, I guess, being Meg in a proper mystery with just the 3 of us, so I'm excited to see her develop as a character.
Yeah, there's a little bit more space right now than when there were 7 of you all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if folks are a bit confused, it's worth the reminder that we technically have 8 murder mystery mavens who've been coming and going in trios. We may introduce a quartet soon. I don't know. I'm thinking about messing with things a little bit more, as if that sounds really, really super fancy. And although we're not filming in person, so we don't have our big murder mystery board, we do have our digital murder mystery board. So tonight's adventure, which Atlas will occasionally be sharing our Owlbear Rodeo screen with y'all, that's where we do this for free. It's a really fun system to play Dungeons and Dragons into, but I've enjoyed the murder mystery capabilities. Tonight's mystery has a complexity of 7. So what that means is that you're going to need at least 4 clues before you theorize. For every clue that you can bring into your theory of who did it, or you can at least account for with your theory, you will get a bonus to your roll. It works as like number of clues incorporated minus the complexity equals the bonus to your roll. So if you only have 4 clues, you can go ahead and try to solve, but you'll have a -3 to your roll. Whereas if you get 10 clues that you can work in, you'd have a +3 to the roll. We don't always get into that nitty-gritty level of detail, but this is a fairly rules light system. So, when there's a mechanic, why not dive in? The other thing that I think is worth remembering is that Babs has kind of temporarily handled that ping condition by being off of a cell phone. So chat, y'all can help me pay attention. Because if Justin messes up and has the cell phone out, that pinged condition comes back. Justin, does Babs have a theory on who's behind that?
Well, I feel like Babs just thinks it's the government anyway. So it's just
Mhm.
it's the government pinging her.
And is it one of those like not a specific government, but just the government? Like,
It's just the government because I think
Yeah.
she just puts that all into one category.
could be the mayor, could be the secretary of state, could be anybody. Is Babs's conspiracy to the level of like lizards in the government, or is it just the government?
I think it's more just the government, but she has a very fondness for all conspiracies. So it's like she doesn't know if she believes that, but it's not that it's out of the question per se.
Does Babs
Amazing.
have an opinion on where the Malaysian airliner is?
Deep cut.
It's-
In the form of a bumper sticker haiku,
Oh.
preferably.
yeah.
This
A
is
bumper
amazing.
sticker that says, "Look for me at these coordinates."
Yes.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
I love it
so
so much. It's amazing.
I want that bumper sticker.
And I think Nessie is the only condition holder right now, and that's just like over it, right?
Yeah, just over it.
Just in general.
Yeah.
Amazing. Before we start our mystery, I give everyone a second to narrate a slice of life. If you've ever seen Murder, She Wrote, how there's kind of like this opening sequence of the main character riding a bike through a nice coastal New England town and engaging in everyday activities. That's all that is. Just has to be a couple of seconds of what your mavens, like something they do in their everyday life. For mavens that have started putting on Crowns of the Void, which I don't think any of you have, this is such a like wholesome group compared to what's going on with the others that I'm almost tempted to keep y'all together and just like see how far the two groups diverge in a couple sessions. So y'all don't have to narrate anything creepy in the background. Yours are just nice and wholesome. So yeah, we can go in the same order we did introductions. Do you want to go first, Justin? Tell us a little slice of Bab's life.
Well, I was thinking of Babs showing up at the Brindlewood Bake-Off. She has Banjo with her at this point in time. So Banjo's got, I was trying to think of something. Banjo's got a little scarf on it that says, I'm trying to see if I can do this right again. Bark if you like dogs. And then, so she walks in, she's got a pie tin that she's bringing to this bake-off that may or may not have a slice of pie already out of it because, you know, the baker's got to test the food. She also has her cookie tin because her cookie tin, she would have brought the treasure chest, but there's no carrying that treasure chest around with her. Babs,
I forgot about the treasure chest.
she may think she has the energy to do that, but she doesn't. So she's carried in her tin, which does have her phone in it. And it's got duct tapes, the leashes, and candles in it, which she was planning on putting on the pie as well. She opens the tin just temporarily to check to make sure everything's there. And as she opens the tin, a car alarm goes off outside. And so she quickly closes the tin back, thinking that it's that theme aspect again. And then that's Bab arriving at the baking.
Amazing. How about Nessie?
So, it has recently been Bert and Ernie's gotcha day, and so Nessie is sort of brushing up on her baking skills, but for cats this morning. So she's just putting the final touches with her, using her like gold teaspoons for fancy food consumption to dole out this sort of catnip infused muffin creation with like wet food stuffed on the inside. That
It
she
sounds
has-
amazing and disgusting all at once.
yeah,
It's great.
that she has baked. Her place smells awful, just absolutely terrible. And so like all of her windows are open. She's got like exhaust fans running on full blast. So it's just like loud and terrible smelling, but she's really proud of herself. And she still looks very like delicate in the way that she's like tweezering like the last little leaves of catnip on top of it before she like puts it down on the floor.
Oh gosh, that's wonderful. And what is our retired doctor up to, Meg?
I think Meg is also on her way in. She's probably walking, taking the morning to just, have a moment, clear her head. And along her path, she comes across a local dog walker who she knows, and a neighborhood teenager out with 3 or 4 medium to larger sized dogs, and the leashes are kind of getting tangled up. And Meg stops to like say hello and give them some scritches. Maybe a couple of the dogs are like jumping up a little bit and sniffing at her oversized shoulder bag that has some of her quilting stuff and some edible flowers in it for possibly baking later on.
Very cool. You think this is a dog that Banjo knows?
I don't know if Banjo knows anybody.
Just George Miller?
Just George. Yeah, it's just George. It's the only walk that Babs goes on.
Awesome. So yeah, the real big, as y'all have alluded to, the big news is that the Jolly Good Baking Show has come to Brindlewood Bay to find the town's very best baker. This has been a little bit like in the background commotion for the past few weeks, because once it was announced that their Great American Baker kind of tour mini-series, if you will, was going to be coming through the New England area, they had some qualifying rounds, and our 3 murder mavens are among the bakers that are making it through to the final televised portion. Those of you in chat, yes, we really are. I don't know if you saw it on socials, but y'all are also going to get to compete in your own division. So I guess be thinking of your best baking ideas. What's particularly exciting about this is that you're going to be able to meet all of the on-camera celebrities, with the caveat that I can't do accents to save my life. So this is going to be incredibly funny. Let's kind of start with, if you're showing up, this is going to be a baking show where you're going to have to bake at your individual station. What do your like baking stations look like? Are there decorations or certain things that you bring from home for inspiration?
Nessie is like professional, like overly taking this very, very seriously. And so her space is just austere. Like it is clean. There is no extra like proof of life or personality. It is just like immaculate.
I think Meg is the opposite. So I think like Meg's got this great big shoulder bag. She sets it up on top of the baking station, pulls out like, a half finished quilt with like a handful of threads still like not quite stitched in, and different squares like, half flapping off, and a stack of other squares that still need to be sewn on. But also like a few small photos of like, some of the children that she's met in the school program and things like this, and some of the local animals, pulls out the different edible flowers and has them sitting there. And I'm imagining some poor harried producer is like, buzzing around saying like, well, could we put those somewhere else for you? And
yeah, no, there is a producer and a cameraman I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to, and then we'll hear about Babs's station. So the producer is a little bit more on the stern side. This is Heath Hendricks. He is being way overworked, like beyond belief. He has not been able to sleep. They've been on the road. Sometimes he's going ahead with the advance crew to try to, maybe this is a little bit too much under the hood, but see who the best contestants are to put on television, not just the best bakers, but the ones that are going to be the most charismatic, but then sometimes has to go back to the previous town that they're in to film and then come back when it's time to film here and back and forth, not getting any sleep. And comes over to you, Meg, and it's like, look, it's okay. I love the homey touches. I think this is absolutely fabulous, very like cute, small town America. But if the camera cannot get in here and actually see what you're working on, that's just crowded nonsense. And I think you're great. I think the audience is going to think you're great. I really think Buck wants to be able to get in here. And over his shoulder, you see Buck, the cameraman, who is trying to do his best to kind of get in close, shot of the workstation, some establishing scenes. He, for however short with you, like, we got to do this, Keith is coming across, Buck is just like super happy to be here. Exudes like almost like a puppyish energy, which I think Meg might pick up on, being an animal lover, of like, this is the best day of my life. Like, you can treat me like a dog and I will still be happy to be here. Kind of like very enthusiastic, getting there, getting a close-up of the quilt squares and some of the pictures of the kids before the producers, like, you really think that we can put someone's children like on TV without there being a host of calls to the studio? Like, what is wrong with you, kid? And just kind of like knocks him in the shoulder. He's like,
I'm sure it'll be fine, dear.
How many episodes of this godforsaken show have you produced?
Well, I'm just happy to get to be here and to do some baking.
How about you rest your voice? I'll count you in when it's time, give you the good 3, 2, 1. Okay, nice seeing you. And we'll grab the cameraman to go get some more establishing shots. Babs, what does your workstation look like? I'm actually a little scared to ask this with the look on your face.
No. To be honest, Babs is going to be very minimalistic. She literally brought her can of very minimal stuff. I would say she's got just a pie pan, a mixing bowl, and a whisk. And like the very minimum you can think of that would be on it is on that. Nothing else, no decorations, nothing except for, she'll have banjo just kind of sitting next to her, and an apron that says whisk taker. And I'm hoping my southern accent came out that sounds right.
Ever a moment of silence for Chris Campo Bowen when he walks out?
Whose eyes are now permanently stuck to the ceiling.
And let's all be happy for Dakota for a real easy clip to give us for next week's socials. That's amazing. Whisk taker.
Yes.
As a kind of establishing question, I think the Jolly Good Baking show is going to be connected to like a really favorite memory for someone. Which of your characters do you think has like a fond memory of this show? It can be more than one, but do any of you think that you have something?
I think that this would definitely be a fond memory for Nessie, just like watching this show every Friday night with her partner for years before she passed. It was sort of a ritual to mark like the passage of time in the fall that they really just loved sharing together. And, they would try to recreate like technical challenges for fun sometimes over the course of the weekend following watching the show. So she's just really thrilled to actually be a part of it and kind of feels like she's doing this, also for Viola.
I love that. That's beautiful.
I feel like Babs would also, this is a passion she has, but she's never talked to anyone about it. She lives by herself and mostly has lived by herself. So she's gotten excited. She's always watched it. But it's one of those things where she keeps cooking by herself, but this is her first time that would be letting anyone else know that she has or potentially has any skill or that she enjoys it.
I think that is a really interesting kind of thing to be sharing about your friends at this point. There's all this dark tragedy, murders needing to be solved, things not going so great. Mercedes was just in jail, y'all, and had an arraignment and has like an open investigation going on. It's been dark. It's gotten dark. But what a nice little like moment of light to get to realize and be open about one of your dreams. There is another Brindlewood Bay local here, a contestant named Melanie Blair. She, at first glance, may come across as a little bit on the disheveled side, but it's more of like a calm focus on the baking and nothing else mattering. Quite sensibly dressed with a nice apron already tied. How have any of you like spent a long time in Brindlewood Bay? Like, would you have been in Brindlewood Bay 20 or 30 years ago?
I
think
think Meg
Babs-
probably would have. Oh, sorry.
Meg and
Oh,
Babs?
Yeah.
You may have like recognized her a little bit from when she was a little girl who used to run around the Sweet Sensations bakery that her parents owned. It's unfortunately gone out of business, but she was like an absolute fixture of the town. I'm just gonna add some text for a local contestant. But yeah, Melanie is at a station nearby, and this is incredibly professional looking setup, but also well curated for the camera. There's like cute little jars, like labeled jars for ingredients, which seems a bit weird because those are often like provided by the show. Are they empty? Are they full? Unclear. But she means business. And there's one other finalist. So it's really just the 5 of you. This one is not a local. However, I think that both Nessie and Babs will likely recognize this little bit of a baby-faced character. Scott Lamb was a contestant on the Jolly Good Baking show 3 years ago, and it was kind of I don't know that scandal is the word that I'm looking for. There was I think the conspiracy theorists in Babs would probably have ideas about this. There was some sort of on-camera argument with one of the judges named, I'm blanking on his name, Paul Riviera, about some muffins that were overbaked. Online in the forums, I think Babs would have seen a host of conspiracy theories about what really went down. So this is, I don't know. I'll just put returning contestant as our little note here. It also seems like a little bit of maybe stunt casting on the producer's parts, right? Like, Scott is not from Brindlewood Bay. He has no connection to this town, but the name will definitely draw some like viewers in. The idea that this is somebody coming back that may have a bit of a scandal. As you are setting up your stations, you will probably be able to see off in a corner. Let me make sure I get everybody. The 2 presenters recording different versions of the intro with the cameraman and the producer. You have first Sue Mellon. She is probably was originally known as a comedian, although now like being a host is kind of her main deal. Warm, friendly, very funny, helps bring a lot of that sweet energy to the show, along with Timothy Boosh. Where did I put you? There you go. Who isn't necessarily known for knowing anything about baking, but is kind of, here and along for the ride. And last but not least, you would see over in the judges' tent, which, actually, let's describe the judges' tent first. There is a judges' tent set up in front of a backdrop. And usually these backdrops are somehow representing or standing in for like the area where everything is being filmed. But this isn't very Brindlewood Bay-ish. It's actually a little bit more like Martha's Vineyard. But it's trying to read like very, very American. So my question for y'all is like, what are they doing to make this backdrop be like, this is America and not an English cottage?
I mean, there's got to be American flag decor somewhere. Like, I'm thinking either like pillow cushions or like an American flag clock, just something really, really tacky, um, but that like uses the flag in some way that's like actually probably low key blasphemous, but people think that they're being patriotic. Um, I would also say maybe it's like cottage decorated themed. Um, so like wood accents. I don't know. Someone else throw in.
No, like I'm imagining that kind of cottage core that's like e- everything is faux worn. Like it looks like it's way too put together to actually be like a lived-in space, but it's got that sort of um cutesy, knick-knacky kind of feel to it.
And the those of you that are really interested in like going antiquing and stuff can recognize just how fake this is, like how not right everything seems. I would imagine.
Do we recognize like actual pieces lifted from local antique shops and things because they like probably threw the set together?
You 100% could. I mean, Babs was just in a local antique shop for a totally not stressful evening where one of the owners was murdered.
Just a random picture frame there.
Yeah, that would probably be even creepier. Okay, I love that suggestion so much. Do you want to give me a meddling move? I'm almost tempted to make it sensitivity. And like let's just like lean into the creep factor.
Oh, that'd be great. Because Bab has -1 in sensitivity. Was it rolling 2?
Yeah, you'll roll 2d6s.
Well, that's a 9 -1, so that would be an 8.
Okay. Ooh. So with an 8, I'm gonna actually say that you there is gonna be a complication in a moment, but it's enough that you do get a clue. I kind of want to break some rules and give you something that's a little bit themed after what you're doing. You notice that there is a frame picture that does come from Pierre's collection. It wasn't anything that was up for auction the night that you were there, but it is a framed picture of, I'm just going to say an animal. What kind of animal do you think it'll be?
I want to say a crow.
Amazing. It is a frame picture of a crow. Its like beak is open wide, and there's a large bloodshot eye wedged in its throat that you can kind of see in there. We're calling this a void clue, friends. I just thought that'd be fun.
Ooh.
You know,
Creep.
for the theme. It was getting a little too wholesome, okay? I can't keep up with that.
Okay, but I would also like to add, sorry, as like decor.
Yeah, no, go
they
for it.
have, like cookbooks that are giving Americana, like America's Test Kitchen and like Cook's Country and things like this. Just like shows associated with like a PBS and or Food Network, just to kind of clearly delineate space. That's all.
Amazing. I love that.
like an everything butter cookbook.
Yes. They've crossed out like Paula Dean's name though, because they don't want you to see that part.
Oh my gosh. And that's it. That's the amount, that's the extent of like the effort that they've put into
Yeah.
just that. I love it. Okay. Near the judge's tent, you do see the two judges getting ready, which would kind of make sense. These are both recognizable from the very beginning or near the very beginning. You have the very sweet, wise, gentle, but also knows exactly how you should be doing everything, Jane Leaf, along with the charismatic master baker and potentially the biggest star of the show, Paul Riviera. They're kind of setting up. I did want to check in. Did anybody have anything they wanted to do right before the competition starts?
I think that Nessie would go over to Melanie and just ask her about the ingredients that she apparently has. Like, she would pretty much just like walk over and open up the things to see if there was actually contents in those things, and then depending on whether or not there were, make some sort of comment.
Excuse me, are you just helping yourself to my family heirlooms?
Well, it just seems kind of interesting that we're on a competition show and that you're allowed to use proprietary ingredients.
They're props. She'll take it and show you that there's nothing inside of it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I figure, why not class the place up a bit?
I mean, sure. Yeah, that's one way to do it. Absolutely.
Good luck.
You too. Which will just walk away.
I feel like with that at that time, Babs just grabs her like Kroger plastic bag of ingredients up and then just puts it up on the table, just ready to go. There is no uniformity to that. Just everything in just like this cheap plastic grocery bag.
With all of the judgment in the world, like seeing that it's just shit from Kroger, Nessie does not care at all.
I think when you do that, someone comes up behind you who seems to both feel like she belongs on set, but also seem to have absolutely nothing to do with what's going on around. She is bottle blonde, leopard print, piles of makeup, probably had some work done. Would any of you be fans of The Real Housewives of Liverpool?
Liverpool? Sorry, I only do original properties like New York.
I was waiting to see if it was a patriotism thing or a snob thing. I love it. No, this is Donna Riviera, Paul's wife, and like she has no place here. She just like a moth to a flame, drawn to places where there might be fame. And kind of comes up behind Babs and is like, yeah, they might. I see. You're going for the whole eccentric bit. I'm gonna keep my eye on you.
I think it looks lovely, Babs.
I don't know about eccentric, but I've been cooking with this stuff for years.
Do you think your friend's just kind of laughing at you or doesn't see you as competition? This would be pointedly to Babs, but like not even hiding that it is about Meg.
Oh, is she asking me if I think my friends are laughing at me?
If you think Meg's, yeah.
No, Babs is like, I really don't care what other people think. I've liked every single bite of everything I've made.
I'll figure out how to make you a bit more dramatic yet. And she turns and gives like a pointed look to the cameraman and is like, just trying to get him ready for you, sweetie. And kind of blows him a kiss. And then is going to head off in the direction of the trailers, kind of parked on the edge of the area that they've secured for the filming location.
There's a very deep sigh that comes from Babs as she leaves.
Well, she's not very friendly.
So,
That was enough for me already.
don't want any more.
Well, I mean, if all they want to fight with one another, I thought the show cared about the merits of our baking. I'm disappointed.
Okay, at that, you definitely get a little bit of a chuckle from Scott Lamb. He's like, oh, you think this show is about baking? You are so sweet. I just love you.
I mean, what can I say? I guess they fooled me.
I thought at least it had a reputation for being wholesome.
I mean, they do a lot in post to make it look that way.
Oh.
Do you think I really overcooked those muffins? You think I really, after all of my successes leading up to it, somehow just magically had the temperature turned up too high?
Well, I mean, we all do make mistakes, dear.
I'm sure your muffins were delicious.
I've heard some stories.
All I'm saying is you need to keep eyes in the back of your head. I know these judges look so sweet and cute and elderly, but you cannot trust them.
Will they
eat you
take
alive?
with our bakes?
They'll do what they have to. With that, you will hear the producer starting to make an announcement. Contestants, we'll have the little voiceover from the presenters in a moment, but I just want to make sure there aren't any questions about how this is going to go. The first round is going to be pies. There are a bunch of ingredients in our little pantry set up, and they kind of gesture behind you. You can use whatever you find there. Please do not go in and try to steal things from other contestants. It's not that kind of a show. Looking a little bit in Scott's direction. So yeah, you'll each make a pie. We'll show it to the judges, and they'll decide if it's a triumph or rather disappointing. Any questions?
Yes. It has recently come to my attention that people might try to sabotage our bakes on this show for drama.
People?
Perhaps other members of the cast or the host. I just wanted to make sure that we're going to play a clean game.
Hey, your releases covered this. This is not a very dramatic show. We're just going to bake. People are going to taste the food. They're going to see how cute your little town is. It'll drive up tourism. Be great.
We don't need more tourism.
The grandkids will see you on TV. Any other questions?
I'm offended that you would think that grandchildren watching me on TV is why I want to be here. It's not really a question, more of a statement.
You're going to be fun. Okay, with that, we'll get started. 3, 2, 1, and then kicks it over to the presenter, Timothy. And he goes, Bakers, you are going to have 90 minutes to create the perfect pie. And then for some reason pours a glass of water on his head and does an awkward cartwheel. Well, Sue goes, ready, go! And then turns and giggles at him as if it's the funniest thing that she's ever seen. As soon as the producer calls cut, they both walk away and probably start smoking. So it is time for the first round. And this is where chat, y'all can help us. So whether you're a player or you're somebody in the chat, I need you to tell me what kind of pie you're making. can take a few minutes. What we'll do is we'll go through the players first after letting them kind of think for a bit. And then chat Atlas is going to share the responses with me. In both cases, interestingly enough, the players are the ones that get to vote in place of the judges. So I don't know what sort of three-dimensional chess you're going to play as players. Now that I'm going to let you know early, you get to judge both chat and yourselves. But yeah, basically, you get to think of any type of pie possible.
I'm happy to start if.
Oh, you've got yours like ready. You know what you're up to.
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, oh, I could just like improvise a random scene or something. I don't know how quick this is gonna go down. Yeah, let's do it.
Well, I'm ready to go after this.
I vamped enough. Let's do it.
Amazing. So Meg is going to make a very classic lemon meringue pie. And by classic, I mean the sort of thing that you could make with things that you would probably find around your kitchen on most days. It's a simple graham cracker crust. The lemon is like from like it's artificially flavored. It's got the viscosity of like some kind of gelatin, and the meringue is like very light. And like just sort of whipped together and slathered on top of it. The meringue layer is like twice as tall as the rest of the pie put together.
Amazing. Okay. Caitlin and
Nessie?
Justin, before we move to you, do you think that Meg's pie, is it a triumph or is it rather disappointing?
I think that amount of meringue feels disappointing.
Shots fired.
I would think Babs would be into that, so Babs is all right with that.
I'm really excited by our chat update right now about Will and Sean being in chaos mode. So I guess keep the chaos coming, boys. So no, I think Jane Leaf and both I should say. Why can I remember absolutely no names tonight? Thank you all for hanging with me. Jane and Paul will both come over to your pie, Meg, and taste it. And there's some tells, I think, that Paul often has, jumping back quickly after tasting something that tastes good, or kind of gesturing towards his nose and reaching out his hand and shaking. And there is like, you're shaking the person's hand. There is no flinching, unfortunately. It's just kind of stone cold. And Jane goes, don't fret, dear. Your pie is a perfectly adequate taste. It just looks a bit informal. But thank you so much for sharing it with me.
And thank you for tasting it and letting me know how you like it.
Yeah, well, better luck next round. A little more attention to detail on the top, maybe, and you'll be golden. And as they wander off, Sue and Timothy, the presenters, come over and go, I don't see anything wrong with that at all. And Timothy's like, yeah, it looks as American as apple pie. And for some reason, they think this is hysterical. Cool. Let's see what Nessie has cooked up.
So Nessie is doing something sort of similar but different. So she's doing a key lime pie with actual key limes, not normal limes. And her graham cracker crust uses homemade graham crackers, and it blends them with macadamia nuts that she's roasted. So that all goes in the food processor. Graham cracker crust goes in the oven to set. She makes her key lime sort of custard. And then on top of it, she pipes these little like rosettes around the outside ring of like kind of white chocolate, almost like buttercream type thing, just to give a little bit of contrast to the tartness of the pie. And then some like lime zest on that, and some extra like chopped macadamia gets spread across the so that people can connect that flavor in the crust.
Amazing. Okay, gentlemen, was that a triumph? Or was it rather disappointing?
I'm a sucker for key lime. That's a tryout for me.
Yeah, I have to agree. That sounds delicious.
That's amazing. You get the the patented Paul jump back, look you in the eye, reach out the hand, and say,
You.
young lady, this is absolutely fabulous. I feel like it's very similar to something that I would serve in my local eatery. I don't know if you know the bakery downtown. It's from my chain, but it doesn't look at all British. It looks so quaint and New Englandy, and I don't know. I mean, key lime should not work up here, with all the clams, but here we are. And then he starts kind of moving on, right? He's bestowed his compliment upon you, and like a benevolent god, marches on to the next person. Meanwhile, Sue and Timothy start telling jokes about clams, which Jane clearly does not get and is trying to get them to explain. The camera just eating this all up, and the producer's like, okay, we got enough of that. Let's move on to the next. Melanie's actually right next to you. And before the judges even start their evaluation or taste, you turn and see mascara running down her face, just having a complete and total breakdown. The producers kind of move ahead of the judges to have this nice, like, comforting, heartwarming moment of, it's just pie. We know this meant a lot to you. And they're getting these like heartfelt anecdotes about how her parents had a bakery and how she always felt this talent, but like in between sobs, to the point that it's probably a little embarrassing. But the producer just really has butt getting the camera right in there in her face. From the other end of the row, you hear Scott being like, that's a lot of emotion for just pie. But after that hullabaloo, yeah, what do you think? How's Bab's pie going?
All right, I'll be honest. Everybody went well. It's bad for her that she went in the right direction, because I had two ways I was going well with this. Babs is a little chaos incarnate. So she's cooked your old fashioned pies most of the time, just like your typical apple pies, peach cobbler, those type of pies. But she decided to try her grandmother's favorite pie, that is a Depression era. She has renamed it to pucker pie, which is actually just an old-fashioned vinegar pie that was made during the Depression era. So it is just a simple handmade pie crust with flour, sugar, butter, and vinegar.
Awesome. What do you two think? Triumph or rather disappointing?
What I think, did I miss it? That's the crust. But is there something in the pie?
It's like a sugar pie, Depression era sugar pie, right?
Yeah. So it's got a weird consistency to it. It may not have been blended well.
I just realized we're talking to a Canadian and someone from the northern US. I don't know if y'all know what this pie is.
I don't think I, as a player, have had this pie or something very similar.
It seems like magic. It's sometimes called a water pie because, like, it feels like it looks like you're just putting water in a pie crust and then a pie magically emerges.
That sounds like a triumph. It sounds sweet and delicious, and if the crust is good, no further questions.
We're here for a party trick.
Yeah, I think the judges are a little bit more restrained, but very impressed and trying to go on in their British accents about how this is the taste of Americana and the American spirit, like an almost scripted moment, to the point that at one point the producer's like, we didn't quite get that, and then counts them down like 3, 2, 1, and they repeat the scene. But absolutely kind of passable. Scott overplays it, Scott Lamb, with his pie. He ended up doing kind of like a chocolate mud pie. But we're talking like multiple types of chocolate, all these different techniques with getting the perfect little swirls on top. It's completely ridiculous, looks like it belongs, in the window of a bake shop. He's got something to prove and kind of cruises on to the next level. I don't exactly know what to do with our lovely chat, and I am incredibly here for the energy. So I think I'm going to leave it up to the players I'm going to go ahead and read out some options, and I'll let y'all decide which one of these wins. Long Island iced tea pie, Parmigiano Reggiano, deviled egg pie, Pabst blue ribbon pie, mango sticky rice pie, a fish deep dish pie called the Nantucket Bucket, and salmon cheesecake. They did reject the mayonnaise, live frog, 4 and 20 blackbirds, and poison options.
Mhm.
What do y'all think? Who gets the VIP badge?
I mean, mango sticky rice pie legit just sounds like something
I
I would
agree.
The problem is, Alice, was that you? I think we probably can't give the Open the Gates Gaming the VIP badge. Unless, Atlas, you want to give your personal account the VIP badge. Is there a runner-up?
I just like Nantucket Bucket because it's a fun thing to say.
I was going to say, I do like the Nantucket Bucket.
Yeah.
I feel like it would also probably play to the judges with being like, oh, an unexpected savory option. Here in America, we thought everything was sweet. You know what I mean? There'd be like some ridiculous, overdone nonsense. So, hey, the Nantucket Bucket it is. So Cuckoo Lane gets our VIP badge for the next 4 weeks. Or until we remember to take it off. Whichever comes first. And you were already a VIP. Atlas, do you want to just give it to Sean then? Because that's our other contestant. Dear God.
Dear God.
This seemed like such a good idea, y'all. I was like, I got a great idea for us to engage the chat because they're so wonderful.
And then we have two.
By default, Sean gets a VIP badge. Enjoy. Amazing. Thank you all, though. That was brilliant. Next time, we will be doing, it'll make more sense, but there will be a second round next Thursday. For that one, you're going to need to be in the Open the Gates Gaming Discord because you will need to find a picture from the internet of the baked good. And we don't do pictures in the Twitch chat. So make sure you follow the bot's instructions and join the Open the Gates Gaming Discord if you want to participate in that contest next week. And then you'll get a special role and your own little color for about a month in the OTG community Discord. So everybody knows that you won round 2 of the Great Brindlewood Bay Bake-Off. Awesome. Now that everybody is a VIP, let's continue with our adventure. After the first round, they take a break. Looks like time for a union break anyway.
I think
I should note actually, as soon as they call cut, you notice that Scott Lamb, Paul Riviera is still hanging around Scott Lamb and going, that was amazing. It was so much better than the last time that you were on here, and is giving him the coveted and somewhat patented Paul Riviera shoulder rub, but it seems a bit odd since the cameras are already off.
I don't like that. That does not seem nice.
That seems a bit like favoritism.
I think if there is some downtime, Meg would probably sit, still just at the same station, if there's a little stool or something there, and just like do a little quilting, but sort of keep her eyes and ears open for what other folks are doing during the downtime.
Yeah, after the kind of union mandated break, and maybe not even quite after that, the producer will bring the cameraman to do some talking heads. So any of you that agree to participate in it, how come go? Now, look, miss, you have a few different question options. You can tell me, do you think somebody's your biggest competition? Is there a judge that intimidates you? Why is it so important for you to win? Don't really care, because what we'll do is we'll kind of cut in one of the presenters asking you that question. I just need to get your answer, right? And then a little bit of magic. So, yeah, Meg, was it?
Yes, dear.
Why is it so important that you win this competition?
Oh, oh, I'm not fussed about the competition. I just love baking.
Okay, let's try again. Who's your biggest competition?
Oh, well, I think everyone here has been doing some interesting baking. I'd like to get a chance to taste some of what everyone's making.
Do you think we could cut that? Looking over at the presenters, do you think we could cut that with like some music that makes it sound like a little bit more sarcastic, and we can have like a little cut of the girl breaking down? Yep, perfect. Okay, we got it. You points at Babs. You want to do one of these?
Shoot.
Awesome. So, which judge intimidates you more?
Which does intimidate or annoys?
Yep, Jane or Paul?
Well, I don't really think any of them really intimidate me. Jane, Paul seems like an okay person. Jane, she's got her issues.
Beautiful. We need that's perfect. We can get so much mileage out of that, and then pulls back over in the direction of Nessie. Goes, so why is it important for you to win this?
I will not participate in your little scheme to make us look like dramatic school children.
You're here.
Oh, we can definitely cut that with some footage later. We got it. Okay. Yeah, and they'll kind of resume to talking to the other contestants.
She gives them the filthiest and starts scheming about how she can ruin the footage for today.
Amazing. As y'all kind of make eyes, chuckle a bit, process whatever just happened to you, you hear this almost unearthly scream coming from the direction of the trailers. And specifically Paul's trailer, where his wife, Donna, is like holding open the door, faints, falling backwards. And just inside, you can see Paul, the judge, Paul Riviera, dead in the trailer. His face is covered with flour and his hands are tied behind his back. And with that, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. Bye, folks. We'll be back soon. Hey, welcome back, everybody. We were having a great time with Pi, and now somebody's dead. You're all caught up. So, yeah, the star of this show, the judge that had arguably the most appeal, is now dead in his trailer with his wife passed out in front after screaming.
I mean, I think Meg would definitely be pulling the medical bag out of her large over-shoulder bag and rushing over, seeing if she can get in and make anything of this.
Amazing. Okay, so that means because of your Maven move, you get to roll with advantage. And I think this is going to be reason.
All right. I have a 1 in reason. So with advantage, that is going to be 9.
Awesome. So a 9 is you're going to get a clue and there is going to be some sort of complication. And I have not forgotten about Justin's complication. Don't you worry. It's going to be fun. Okay, so as you are looking at this body, what are we going to find? Ooh, okay. So his face is covered in flour, as I mentioned. The hands are tied behind his back with nylon cords that are like beautifully plaited, like braided, plaited. However, you think that's a little bit of a distraction because the particular pallor of his skin and this faint scent from his breath, you think he was poisoned. So the clue you're getting is that the body has signs of him being poisoned.
I think Meg is going to keep that to herself just because it feels like there's a lot of people around. I'll try and find a way to let the other Mavens know, without tipping off everyone else.
Yeah. There's a crowd that's kind of starting to gather and notice the commotion. Had seen you rush past the passed out wife on the ground to get in there and take a look at the body. But all of a sudden repeated over and over on the monitor that also has some speakers apparently, or it's loud enough that it's coming through the headphones. You hear the somewhat neutral to critical take that that Babs had during the interview about the judges, including the very hot take that Babs had about Jane. Pretty sure Jane heard it too.
Ooh.
What do y'all do next?
I think Babs is trying to keep her head down, but she's also, I'm also looking across the room. I'm curious to notice if anyone is missing, out of place, because I feel like there was a very short time. So I'm just looking around the room, taking note of where everyone may or may not be.
Interesting. Yeah, as you're looking around, you notice that a lot of folks are looking back at you quite suspiciously. I kind of want to give you a condition. We could do it based on how you're feeling in this moment, but the gist of it is that to everyone else here, Babs is a suspect. Go ahead and give me. I mean, I think it could be reason. I think you could also make a case for composure for this role as you're just trying to like do this head count, stay focused despite the people looking at you, but you're going to have it at disadvantage since this particular crowd looks like they're inching closer to pitchforks. So you'll roll 3d6, take the lower two, and then you can add either reason or composure. Just let me know which.
I'll add reason just because I have a +3.
Perfect.
Which would give me. Hold on. I have to take the lower two. That's the disadvantage. So I have 8 total. That's with advantage.
Okay, with an 8, it's also going to be in the same tier where you're going to get something and you're going to get a little bit of a complication, which is kind of funny because I was narrating your complication from way before and now we get to give you a new one. In the meantime, though, as you're kind of looking around trying to figure out general positions of folks, it looks like the contestants, the cameraman, producer, the judges, the presenter, and theoretically the wife, everybody may have had an equal chance. The rest of the production team was on their break. It was only the cameraman and the producer that were coming around doing kind of these talking head moments. Everybody was kind of just hanging around, which is making it harder to narrow down the field more than that. However, you are going to clock something. As you're kind of surveying the whole crowd, you notice an electrical cord that is dangerously frayed. Almost like intentionally so. It seems like someone should have at least noticed it if it was like that, you know, when they were setting everything up earlier today. So your clue is going to be a dangerously frayed electrical cord.
Where is that electrical cord at?
So this is one of those great things where I'm going to kind of let y'all fudge this a bit at the end if you need to.
Okay.
But I'll give you that the cord is running, it looks like around where the contestant area is.
Okay.
I feel like at that point in time, I will.
It looks like we did not clear the clues from last time, Atlas. Oops. Let me... Sorry, what were you saying?
Just wondering if, since Meg is here at the body, like, is there anything else that jumps out just looking around the inside of this trailer?
Sure. Why don't you go ahead and give me... I mean, it would be the same thing, a meddling move with reason.
Right. Ooh. That's a 12 plus, 13.
Awesome. You are definitely going to find something. You find a baking sheet that has been sprinkled with rat poison on the counter. Oh boy. I don't know if I should apologize for this or not. But that baking sheet, on the other half of it, you see gingerbread men that are engaged in lurid acts like you might see on a Greek vase. And that is actually, you're getting a clue and a void clue combo here.
Ooh.
So I'm going to try to update your sheet here. Your clue is rat poison on a baking sheet. It just happens to be the same baking sheet that the gingerbread men are on.
Nice. Yeah, I think if Meg's satisfied that she's seen what there is to see in the trailer, she would head out and try to play it off as if there's nothing out of the ordinary there except for the corpse, and try and, direct attention elsewhere.
Yeah, and this is a lot to kind of keep track of, right? Like, you have a plausible theory for the murder at this point, I think, like the mechanism at least. You're tidying up your medical bag. But as you're examining the poison and you realize the position of these gingerbread men and how it's kind of a weird image that not just its lurid acts, but remind you of a Greek, like that's a bit off-putting, but maybe you're smoothing your hair and trying to look professional and competent, healthcare provider kind of vibe, good bedside manner. When you turn to exit the trailer, you are going to trip. This is your complication from earlier. Do you think you twist your knee? Your ankle? What feels vulnerable?
Yeah, I think
you decide?
Probably lands heavy on a knee. I think like Meg's demeanor has definitely shifted from like friendly baking, just happy to be here, to like, okay, there's something that relates to my expertise, like very much all business. So I think she probably lands and grimaces in a way that's like pretty obvious to anyone who clocks it, but is also going to like tough through it as much as possible, steady herself, and try and like stand up and maybe not walk it off, but maybe at least like
try to have some dignity about it.
Subtly find whoever's close to lean on for a few minutes.
Cool.
I would like to think that Nessie kind of clocks this and walks over and sort of, in the spirit of pretending like she wants to find out what Meg has discovered, sort of surreptitiously help her up and be like a little bit of a body crutch.
Cool. So yeah, you're gonna have Scott. Your character now has the condition twisted knee, or however you want to phrase it, sprained knee.
Yeah.
Which, just like an emotional one, you will be able to eventually clear by doing the cozy activity with one of your friends. But at this point in time, I hate to do this, Justin, but your other complication is that the lawman arrives. Your friend's least favorite lawman, Sheriff Dalrymple, is coming to the scene and is going to start pushing around and investigating. So he'll be another fun entity to deal with.
I think Meg would see this happening and whisper to Nessie, like, it's poison. It's very clear inside there. He'll work that out. It's fine. Let's go figure out who did this while they're all busy over here.
Perfect. And I'll try to grab Babs. Babs.
Yeah. See, I'm on my way. Also, be very careful. There is some electrical wires that don't look too safe. Of all things going on here, I don't trust any of this set to not fall on us while we're here. The little paranoia is still on it.
Will you bring some pie on your way?
Oops, there's the sheriff. He's a pain.
I feel like I wouldn't take mine. I would go and actually get Scott's pie, the chocolate one, and then I would pick that up and I would bring it to all of us. So I wouldn't even bring my pie. I would go grab someone else.
Incredible.
Oh, my goodness. You're going to grab Scott's pie?
Okay, Scott's pie.
Oh my gosh. He's like, I see you admiring my handiwork. You know, it's very important that you blind bake the pie crust so you don't have a soggy bottom. Because believe you me, Paul always liked a neat.
To have been or had a soggy bottom?
Look, girly, no, never.
A word of wisdom, dear. Don't talk down to your elders.
Oh, so just so you're old, you can just be out here spewing some nonsense? That's what we're going with?
Not nonsense. There is something very serious going on here. A man has died. Now, what did you see?
And I was trying to tell you something about that man, but you cut me off.
Very good. Let's hear it.
Now you're ready? Paul always liked a neat, firm, and uncomplicated bottom. And then he turns and walks off.
I knew it.
What? What did you know?
The way that he was touching his shoulder earlier.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out how the firm, the uncomplicated, exactly what the... I'm with you now. Go ahead.
After that statement, Bab, with the fork in that pie, just looks at the pie and goes, "Nah, I'm good." And just puts the pie down.
Nessie has a bite. She's like, I mean, we should still be intellectually curious about the work of the competition.
It does look like a good pie.
It is a delicious pie.
Meg will also have a bite.
I say I agree as I go grab Melanie's pie as well.
Nice.
Melanie's is not quite so great. She is a mess. There's like a little stool that she can sit on that y'all have at your station. Like you're standing when they come over and they pull it out of frame. But, for other times there's a little bit of a spot to sit. And she's just kind of sitting there, shoulders slumped, still looks like a complete disaster, and is almost ignoring everything else going on around her.
Honey. Oh, take it away, Babs.
Oh no, I was going to say Babs is going to try to figure out what's wrong and just, hey, it's like it seems like there's more going on than this pie here. What's going on?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and give me the meddling move with presence?
Presence.
Can can we help with checks in this system? Like, can I offer to make a cup of tea and just sort of, I don't know, like...
Yeah, I mean,
Melanie?
I think you can come over and do it on your own. I don't think it's so much like a help action like D&D,
Okay.
but I do try to do it a little contextually. Like, here, like this is an interesting example where technically Justin has a condition of like everybody suspecting Babs, but Melanie is so out of it that Melanie's not suspecting Babs. So Babs isn't getting, you see, so I do it like more contextually. So if you do a little bit more like that, that might help you. And then I could just give you advantage because I want to. I don't know if that's in the book, but that's what I've been doing. It's not that big of a book. I really should know the answer to that. No time. We're doing it live. How did you roll?
Oh, sorry. I'm doing presence, right?
Yeah.
So it's a 6.
She's like, the stove was unplugged or something. I don't know. It didn't cook.
I wonder if it could be that frayed wire that's hanging above your head.
And she's gonna turn and look at you and be like, how would you know that? You did this? And she's gonna stand up and she's gonna throw down. Does not care if you're an old lady or not. This is your complication. Along the way, you are picking up a clue. Wait, no, you said it's 6.
Yes. Yeah.
I think you need it. Yeah, a 6 means you just missed. You just got a complication on your hands. She's gonna throw down. She's rolling up her sleeves and like posturing. She's like, seriously, like my family's legacy, my one chance to get back at Paul for what he did to us, and you're. That's what we're doing. And she's like taking her apron off and gonna throw down.
I can see you're upset, dear.
You think?
Well, and it's understandable. You've suffered a great disappointment, but perhaps we could just talk this out.
Go ahead and give me. What's funny is I feel like this is a little bit risky to get in this woman's face. So let's treat this as a day move.
Ooh.
because you're doing something risky or if you were facing something that you fear. But just like, getting between somebody that's like working themselves up
Mm-hmm.
to punch Babs is a little risky. So the way this works is you're going to tell me what you're afraid will happen if you fail or if you lose your nerve and back down. And like don't get in between them.
Ooh. I'm afraid what will happen if I weren't to intervene.
So if you like fail to calm her down, or
Oh.
if like maybe if you got a bad roll, it could represent instead like if you don't get up the courage to go do it.
Yeah.
Right? Because we can play the negative outcome a couple ways, but like what's the worst that could happen?
I think the worst that could happen is Meg just
Or
gets,
what you're afraid will happen, I should say.
I think she's afraid of just getting hit in the face. Like it seems like Melanie is, really upset.
Amazing. Okay, so now you're gonna roll with here's the thing. I think we could say presence. I also think we could say composure. So I'd let you pick which
I
one of
was
those
hoping
abilities you
for
want to use.
composure. And
Yeah,
it's my
I think
strong
composure. This is like bedside manner. You've probably talked people down before.
Nice. All right. That is an
Doesn't involve your knee, so it's flat.
oh good. Yeah, that's an 8.
Okay, an 8 is going to be a success with a complication. For the day move, the way it works is I'm going to tell you how your actions would leave you vulnerable, and then you get to pick whether you go through with it or whether you say, never mind, I didn't intervene.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you go through with it, I'll keep narrating what happened. So I think what's going to happen is you will get in there, you will successfully calm her down a bit. But she's going to get so worked up that like you're going to calm her down from fighting. She'll give you a little bit of a sense of like why this is so personal to her. But I also think it's going to be so emotionally overwhelming that she's going to need to be taken offset to the hospital. And you're going to have one fewer suspect to talk to, along with the risk that if she did it, your suspect may get off the scene, right? So the complication is like, yep, you're going to settle everything, but she's going to go. So now this leaves it to you. Either you can say, yep, we're going to go ahead and proceed with that, or you can say, never mind, I back down, I don't intervene, and you let the scene keep playing out as it was. Or you can put on a crown to increase your success tier, and then everything you wanted to have happen kind of happens here.
Ooh. I think my instinct is that Meg is going to trust her instinct, which is like she's dealt with people being, overcome and worked up before. She's pretty confident that that's what she's clocking here, and even if it does mean that Melanie is taken off set, Meg doesn't feel like she's a top suspect at this moment.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you kind of confront Melanie to calm her down, she does turn away and look at you, and she's like, I don't think you understand. When Paul, his chain bakery came to town, it drove my parents out of business, and I don't really hold that against him. I mean, obviously he didn't know about our bake shop, and I always loved this show, and it was devastating when I learned that, but I thought, well, if I can come and make it big in this show, then maybe it's like full circle, and then I could reopen the bakery, and even though the violence is dissipating, she's working herself up into an anxiety attack and starting to like struggle to breathe. Sheriff Dalrymple is going to notice this and be like, oh, you ladies, do not create yet another murder victim for me. Just give me a sec. And it's going to pick up his little walkie-talkie here. And he's like, hey, yep, Jen, we need an ambulance down here. Well, in addition to the coroner, like another one. I don't think she's dead yet. She's still crying. Okay. And just like puts it back on, does the like hands on hips. Like you sit here with her and let me know if she stops breathing, okay? They'll come get her in a bit. And then he'll waddle
You have
off.
the empathy of a wood chip.
I don't think empathy is going to keep people safe in this town.
Neither
You
are
gotta be
you.
tough.
Well, dear, let's not pay attention to them. Come with me. We'll get you some tea.
Cool. Other than antagonizing everyone in sight, what is Nessie up to?
I mean, that's kind of her whole MO.
Oh my god, I love it.
She would be very curious what Paul's wife has gotten off to.
She, when she saw the thing, she screamed and then she fainted backwards and seemed to just kind of let everybody walk over her. But she's now sitting upright, and the cameraman is offering her a glass of water.
I would love to just go over and try to like listen to their conversation a little bit.
Amazing. Okay, you're definitely giving me the meddling move. I think it's gonna be composure because you're trying not to get caught, I'm guessing. We would use composure if it's a steady hand, a calm disposition, or intense concentration, which I think fits here. But if you want to pitch me something else, you can pitch me something else.
No, I'm good with that.
Cool.
I'm wondering, like, okay, so I can use my
You
cat
can use your cat.
on a roll, and I'm just wondering, like, I don't know, like if there are any animals on set here that I could sort of use as a distraction, so that like my kind of being closer to them didn't seem like I was listening to them. It seemed like I'm just sort of like approaching, you know.
I'm just gonna say yes because it's funny. Go ahead and tell.
I do have banjo with me.
Oh, why don't you? So roll with composure with advantage,
Great.
and then based on that, you'll know how to narrate how this goes down. Oh, I forgot you got banjo. Oh my
Okay.
God.
So that'll be a 12.
12 is awesome. Basically, this is going to go exactly as you planned. So you tell me how the next few seconds unfold, and then I will give you both a clue and a void clue.
So I like kind of walk over to Banjo and I sort of like have like a little treat dangling very discreetly. And so like I'll walk past Babs and Banjo to get over to the cameraman and the deceased's wife, and will like hopefully Banjo will follow me because I have the little treat. And then as we get like within earshot, I'll kneel down and start giving Banjo the treat and giving her like a bunch of scritchies. And just like, oh yeah, you're such a good dog. You're such a good dog. But like actually just like trying to listen to this conversation that's happening around me. And every time that like I run out of treat, like I grab another one from my purse. I'm just like, yeah, just keep going. Like lock in on me.
This is amazing. Yeah, so couple of things happen. One, you're listening for something that's going to be kind of helpful. Out of the corner of your eye, where there was kind of like a crowd of Brindlewood Bay locals gathered to cheer you on and hold up silly signs and that sort of thing, you notice that a group of them are wearing stone, like very smooth stone masks. They look like kind of like the masks you'd see in like a Greek tragedy if it was performed in a traditional manner. But you were quickly distracted by the conversation that these two were having, which is surprisingly like, you'd think they'd be talking about Paul. But Buck's kneeling down and has like, I'm sure this was a shock, even if, you know, and Donna's like, I mean, it's not the only upsetting thing today. And she pulls out an invitation, like a very fancy invitation with gold overlay and the seal for Buckingham Palace. And it's an invitation for the cast of the Jolly Good Baking Show to meet with the royals. But Paul's name was missing. And she's like, you think that good for nothing could have at least gotten me in to meet the queen? And my star power is undeniable. And for some reason, this is what the two of them are talking about. But their heads are also like leaned in kind of close and familiar. So that's what your amazing roll and gag got you.
Interesting.
I think I have been bad about putting clues down.
So Paul was snubbed by the British Royals, and Donna is pissed. Is that the clue?
So yeah, there's a Buckingham Palace invite for cast, but not Paul, which would also therefore mean not Donna, which seems a little weird since he's the big star. But then you also got the void clue of the Brindlewood Bay, the group of Brindlewood Bay folks watching. There's also these people with smooth stone masks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
And
trying.
when we solve, can we use a mix of void and non-void clues? Is everything?
You don't use the void clues at all. Just
Oh, we leave
regular
those
clues.
for.
Yeah, those are leading more into like the big void mystery.
Gotcha.
Cool. We probably have time for maybe one more thing before we wrap tonight, which technically you have enough clues that you could start next time with a theorized move. Not that I'd recommend it.
What's Babs been up to most recently?
That's Babs got a little overwhelmed on someone trying to pick a fight with her, so she's kind of walked back. She's close to Nessie and Banjo because Banjo is like her comfort animal, but she's trying to keep an eye on what's the officer's name?
His name is Sheriff Dalrymple.
She's keeping an eye on Sheriff because she just still doesn't trust him yet.
Yeah. You might remember how last week Mercedes, Nelly, and Rosa, this was mostly Mercedes' idea, but they all chipped in. They bought over half of the raffle tickets at the Whaling Museum and got the video room, like where they were showing whaling documentaries, renamed in honor of Swineman Dalrymple. His first name's Wyman. And the episode before that, the Brindlewood Doll Museum, Mimi decided to put one of the little chihuahua-sized bowling shirts on a doll that was representing the young Wyman Dalrymple before he was sheriff in a historic scene. So, yep, I understand the suspicion. Are you just kind of then looking and scanning for clues while keeping an eye on him?
I am, but I'm also trying to trace that wire as well.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, almost forgot about that. Go ahead and give me a meddling move with reason.
I forgot what my. Oh yeah, no, reason's good. 8.
8. Okay. With an 8, you're following the wire and it kind of winds through everywhere. And then it goes underneath a table that just seems set up so that they can put various props. And there's a couple of like extra lenses for the cameras and extra batteries and things like that on this table. But as you follow the wire underneath it, you discover a sheet cake. And this sheet cake hiding under the table has a quite hateful message written in blood red icing. It says, "The truth will out, and everyone will know, or everyone will hate you." Just that. However, as you're kind of looking under the table at this sheet cake, your rear end sticking out, the sheriff comes over and says, Miss Babs, you wouldn't be interfering with an investigation now, would you? And we'll call it there for tonight. So based on what you've done, make sure you go ahead and check any your end of session questions. If there's anything that you are able to say yes to, you can go ahead and check it and give yourself that XP. We'll pick different end of session questions at the start of next session. But before we wrap up for tonight, we'll do a quick round of stars and wishes. So stars are things that you really enjoyed about the session, and then usually things other people did or bigger picture stuff. And then wishes are things that you hope for in the future, for your character, for you, for the story, anything like that. Chat, y'all should feel free to participate, and Atlas will drop some of them to me to read aloud if Atlas deems them appropriate. Atlas is the gatekeeper at Open the Gates Gaming, apparently. Awesome. So yeah, anybody want to go first with a star or a wish?
My star was getting to talk about pie and getting to learn about different pie.
Hi, everyone's star.
Mm-hmm.
I think my star might be the chat pies, even as my wish is next time that I don't see any of those pies as an image.
Those were excellent.
OTG Discord, because that will give me nightmares. I don't know you're supposed to have negative wishes, but that's mine. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I just really enjoyed being able to talk about food in a fantastical setting and to continue to be a thorn in everyone's side.
I love how you're just like so fully acting out the over it that I don't even really use it on the rolls a whole lot. It's just kind of baked. It's just baked into the interactions. Oh God, that was not supposed to be a baking pun. Does it even count as a baking pun? Because it wasn't even a pun. It was just silly.
Second star of the night. Wish more pun.
Wish more pie. How about you, Justin?
I feel like my star/wish has to go with Nessie's relationship with the sheriff, and then the wish of just. We've already seen one get arrested already, so I just want to know how far Nessie could potentially push this without any consequences whatsoever. Just that whole like, I'm watching you, but like there's nothing you can do, like keeping that clean nose but while pushing at the same time.
Let's find out.
Oh my gosh. I love that there is a chance that this whole thing is just going to end with all y'all in jail. The end. Whatever the dark conspiracy is, it continues unabated because y'all are doing time. Will says, star for making producer's life difficult. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's a little hard to fight. And also, of course, your mom's a dark conspiracy. Maybe not inaccurate. Anyway, awesome, y'all. I'm looking forward to us concluding this next week. Again, if you want to play along, we'll be doing this in the Discord next time because you'll have an image of your baked good. But until next week, bye everybody. I'm
Thanks
sure
for
nothing bad's gonna
running.
happen.